is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today we're talking Top Gun Maverick, and I finally checked it out. Y'all have been asking me, check this movie out. This movie is amazing, right? This movie is awesome. This movie kicks ass. It's tearing it up at the box office. So everyone had me really hyped up for this movie. And I am a fan of the original, at least when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. As an adult, I don't go back to it as much, but it's a fun movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but it's a lot of fun. And that's kind of how I feel about this one. I don't think it quite met the expectations that were laid before me on how awesome this movie is. It's a really good sequel to the original Top Gun, especially for fans who are looking for a very similar type movie, who want a lot of fan service. This is there for you. I've never been someone who enjoys too much fan service. It's just me. So I will say there's a little too much. I'll get into that. But overall, sure, it's a really fun movie that is a very solid sequel to the original. Just to me, it's almost too much of a sequel, and it doesn't really have its own identity too much. So I'll get into that a little bit later. But that's just my thoughts after seeing it one time. Maybe it'll grow on me some more after I see it again a little bit later. It is a movie I would like to own, have in my collection and everything like that. So I'm not saying it's terrible at all. But I will start with some positives. And obviously the sequences, the flight sequences, the special effects, the cinematography is absolutely stellar, kicks ass. Something you should see in a movie theater. Blown away watching it. They really did a great job as far as that goes. The soundtrack is fantastic. The music is great. And all that is on point. There's some music I'll talk about in a minute that again, talking about how it's the same as the previous movie is the only issue I would have with it. Other than that, the music is on point. A great score for this movie, and that's all on point. And obviously, Tom Cruise is phenomenal. Tom Cruise is great as Maverick, just steals the show, and he gets a lot of screen time. The movie's called Top Gun Maverick, so it's not like Tom Cruise is here for a freaking quick cameo. He is on screen almost the entire time, which is absolutely important because he is kick-ass and he's great. Other than that, you do have the return of Val Kilmer, and he is really good in the role. I'm glad they brought him back despite the fact that he's had some throat cancer in real life, so he can't really speak. But they found a role for him anyway, and he's phenomenal. He's great. There are some genuine awesome moments in this movie. It really is edge of your seat at times. It really is a lot of tension. Stuff goes wrong all the time in the planes and things like that, during training even. So you have Tom Cruise's character, Maverick, gets in trouble as usual. What he got in trouble for was a weird scene at the beginning. It was a really cool. I love the opening when it gets going, where you have Maverick trying to reach Mach 10 eventually. Today's exercise is just to reach Mach 9, but the whole program is getting shut down. Okay, Ed Harris is on his way to shut this thing down. So Maverick's like, well, let's hit Mach 10 before he gets here. So they go up there, and reluctantly, the leadership agrees to let him go up there and see if he can get Mach 10 to keep the program going. He hits Mach 10. It's like, yeah, got it. And everything's great. But for some strange reason, he's like, I'm going to keep going. Why? Well, I don't even get it. Why? You hit Mach 10, the program is safe, come back, everything is fine. But I know why, so that they can get him to Top Gun, he can get in trouble. But it just felt like a really weird thing to do. Like, I get the guy gets in trouble, he does whatever he wants, but the exercise was to hit Mach 9. He weren't even ready to hit Mach 10. You hit Mach 10. He kept on going, Mach 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, and the whole ship explodes, and he ends up in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't explode, but something explodes, and I don't know, the engine went out. Apparently, he had to, parachute his ass out of there, ends up in some town in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty funny. He goes in the diner all dressed up in his crazy stuff. Where am I, little kid? Earth. That was funny, but I don't know why he would do that to me. Like, I get that he doesn't follow the rules, but that was a little stupid. So he ends up getting assigned to Top Gun to train these young pilots who are the best in the world. I've always been told that they are the best of the best. How to complete this mission where they have to blow up this unsanctioned uranium plant, and they have to do that and get out and somehow survive. And it's a task that's almost unachievable. And he has to train them to do that. And during the training, it's really awesome. There's some great scenes, like when first of all, he takes them all up there just to try to shoot each other down in a training exercise. And it's a simulation. You don't actually shoot at them, of course, but he's taking them down like nothing. Like, nobody can touch Maverick, and it's pretty awesome. But then later on, there's a scene where he has to prove that this can be done. And on his own, he performs the entire exercise, the entire simulation successfully. Everyone's just blown away. That is a kick-ass scene. There's a lot more to it than that, but that scene is my favorite in the movie by far. Really awesome. So there's some definitely kick-ass moments. At the end is pretty awesome. It's a fun action ride, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from this movie as being a fun, awesome sequel, and I get why it's doing so well. Just for me personally, it is really almost a carbon copy of the original, is what I can tell, and there's so much fan service. Okay, I get it. Okay, the opening was cool. Highway to the Danger Zone, almost the same. It looks the exact same. Like, I couldn't even tell the difference. I'm like, okay, that's cool, because it's badass. I'm feeling it. Getting us in the mood for some Top Gun. Then, of course, he ends up at Top Gun, which makes sense. The movie's called Top Gun, so we got to have back at Top Gun. And, of course, you got to have Goose's son up in there, right? Because that's Goose's son. So we bear a little emotion here, that little conflict between the two, because he kind of blames Maverick for his dad's death. So there's a little conflict there. Okay, it's all good. Gives him the mustache. Okay, now you're getting him a mustache. Okay, why would he have a mustache? So he looks exactly like his dad. Okay, fine. That's good. Okay, we got the setting here. And even to the point now he's playing the song on the piano. Not just playing the piano, a different song. The exact same song. Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. I mean, my goodness. It's like, that was when it was a little much. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is basically Top Gun right here in 1986 here. That's Goose. I mean, practically Goose. His name is Rooster instead. Rooster instead of Goose. But other than that, a lot of the same story beats as the original. And you have a lot of photographs from the past, constantly seeing pictures of the old characters and how they looked when they were young. I'm like, we've seen the movie. Like, I don't need to keep getting shown. Like, I get it. This is a Top Gun sequel. I think I figured that out before I walked in the theater. But it's just constantly reminder, member berries. That's what this movie just is, by and large, from what I can tell. There wasn't a whole lot of story, not fresh story anyway. I mean, it's a basic story. I get it. And that's fine. And it's a fun movie. I just thought I would like something a little more different and something a little more fresh, I guess. But as far as a sequel, a fun, cool, awesome, kick-ass sequel, I mean, yeah, you got it. You got it for sure. It was a little bit predictable to me, the third act, kind of what was going to happen, who was going to save who. You have this character. What is his name? I don't even remember his name. Hangman. Hangman is a total asshole. Oh my God. How did he make it even this far in the Navy? Like, talk about lack of camaraderie. This dude is a piece of shit. And there's a point in a training exercise, he leaves his people behind to die. In the end, they're like, why'd you let him die? I was like, wasn't fast enough. Couldn't keep up. He's always smirking. This dude's just an asshole. And then at the end, of course, I figured he was going to have some kind of an arc. I mean, I was 99.9% sure. But it happened like this, and there was like no indication of why. I don't know what. All of a sudden, he was on board, and the coolest guy ever, right? I was like, okay, that was sudden. But anyway, I'm just telling y'all, not trying to nitpick. I'm just saying, like, that guy was overly a piece of shit, overly a jerk, not just a little cocky, conceited kind of. No, he was a straight asshole. Like, this dude is no good. Yeah, and then you have, of course, Kelly Mcginnis not even mentioned. Her character is not mentioned. Charlie is not mentioned. It's like she never existed. I get why, because she, the actual actress, she wasn't even asked to come back because she actually aged like a normal person. So she looks like a 64-year-old woman, or however old she is. That's what she looks like. So that's not going to work. They're not going to bring her back. They have some hot young girl instead, or younger. And this hot girl, I don't know where she came from. Apparently, Maverick had like an affair with her or something in the last movie. I missed it. Maybe she's in it. I don't even remember her. I don't know where she came from. But anyway, you got her instead. I don't know about that. I mean, everyone was mentioned. Everyone was mentioned in this movie. Like, there was so much fan service. Like, everything about that first movie was mentioned except Charlie. Kelly McGinnis' character was ignored. What's up with that, Hollywood? I thought y'all were like, accepting of everybody, That's why we see overweight people in ads and everything. Like, this is where we're at now, right? We're accepting, tolerant of everything and everybody, right? Right, Hollywood? Oh, no, but if someone's a little bit looking too old and fat, hit the bricks. We're not even going to mention your ass. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to say I needed her to be in that movie or mentioned in that movie. I didn't need her mentioned at all, but you're going to mention everyone else. They mentioned everyone else. It was like a festival of callbacks to the original. So many Easter eggs. And overall, it's a fun movie. It's a fun action movie sequel, cool sequel to Top Gun, but I don't see it as a great movie personally. I think it's good, not great. As a sequel, sure, it's pretty damn good. You could say it's a really good sequel. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for something fresh, something new, you know, a great story, an original script and everything, yeah, you ain't gonna get that. If you're just looking for a movie very similar to the original with a whole bunch of fan service in there and Easter eggs in there and all that with some kick-ass cinematography and great sequences and all of that, boom, you're gonna love this movie. So that's where I'm at with it. I think it's good, just not great. That's where I am with it. Sorry, I know you're gonna be pissed off about that because this movie's getting a lot of hype right now, but that's just where I'm at with it. Guys, have a fantastic day. Let me know what you thought of Top Gun Maverick, and we'll see you next time.